Bismillahir. Knowing our history as Muslims is important. However, these days textbook histories are poisoned and misleading.
Yeah.
How do we know more about our ancestors and the Muslim Sufi way, Sufi history?
Inshallah. Bismillahir. Now we go through old style of learning. New style of learning is to read. Isn't it? Old style, authentic, original way of learning. Because who are the first teachers? Prophets. The first teachers are prophets. How did they teach? Did they give books to the companions to read? They speak and they listen. So when the texts are poison, don't read. Listen. Ask and learn. This is one way. You can ask us as much as we know, we will give. Later on, of course, there are certain things that you need to find out facts here and there, but everything is so much poison. Now everything is going to get confused for you. When the prophets, they leave their inheritors, the inheritors, they will speak from what is necessary for you. Not just what you want to know, but what is necessary for you to know at different times. Because we may speak something, say, about Ottoman history. Your understanding when you are 20 years old is different. If we speak to it, about it, when you are 30 years old, the understanding is different. When you're 40 years old, the understanding is different. So it is not just getting information, but it's getting the knowledge. And from that knowledge, to take the wisdom to put it in your lives. This is necessary. Especially about the history. The way that they teach history these days is never to make a connection to our lives. It's just facts that you memorize and to show off to people if you know, and you feel very dumb if you don't know. But you say, why are we studying this? This has happened. It's nothing to do with us. A big percentage of the Quran is about history of the earlier nations. Why Allah is teaching us history? To make us to remember, to take lesson from, to know that we are repeating the same mistakes if we do the things that they did. And if we want to break out of that confinement, then we have to take the lessons of that history and the advice given by the holy ones. Then we're going to break that cycle. So, ask. We will speak if we have the knowledge. And only take that knowledge that gives benefit to you. The knowledge that does not give benefit to you, it is a poison. Say something that will give benefit to you and to others, or else keep silent. The sign that Allah does not love that servant is when you see that servant being busy with knowledge that does not concern him. You understand? That is ma'rifat. That is high knowledge, to know what concerns you. You may be curious about 1,000 things, but if you know and you don't know, so what? But there may be one thing, not 1,000, one thing that you have to know. And if you're not knowing that, then you've lost everything. You missed it. Then you're not fulfilling the reason of your creation. Out of all the knowledges, no one can deny the highest knowledge is what? The knowledge of your Lord. That is the highest knowledge. How are you going to know the knowledge of your Lord? The Holy Prophet says, he who knows himself knows his Lord. So in order to know your Lord, you have to know yourself. In order to know yourself, you have to have teachers to teach you about yourself. This is when the Muhammad Rasulullah, the second part of the statement of Shahadat, will connect you to your Lord. And this is what, out of all the knowledges in the world, everything is distilled to these two things. And this is what tariqat represents. If you are in tariqat and they're not teaching you about your Lord, how great He is, if they're not teaching you about yourself, not how great you are, so many tarikats teaching you how great you are, that is all ego. If they're not teaching how evil your ego is and how to step on your ego, it's all still a game. It's all still nafsani way. The tariqat has to teach you about your ego, teach you about the veils that stops you from reaching to your Lord. If they're concentrating on that, which is the knowledge of yourself, not the knowledge of the greatness of yourself, that is again ego. Because we are servants. Can the servant be great? Once you do that, then after a while, you may be interested in the beginning, maybe in 100 things, and that will get lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser, and you distill everything to its essence. And that time, when you start doing that, you'll find the key to your existence, dunya and akhirat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not ask you and I on Judgment Day, what do you think of the political situation? He will not ask us, what do you think of the economic situation? What do you think of this, that, all this dunya knowledge? He is not going to question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us, what did you love? And what did you leave? Allah is going to ask, do you love those that I love? And do you leave those that I leave? We should ask ourselves that question in our way every night. You meditate. Not meditate to enter into a delusion world, imagining things. To sit down and say, what did I do today? Why did I get up? When I first get up, do I remember my Lord? Did I renew my shahadat? Or did I get up because I need to go to the bathroom? Or eating breakfast? Those are human functions. It is still there, of course. But if we train ourselves to get up for Allah, to go to sleep for Allah, then the spirit is going to control the human function. Definitely the human or the egoistic or the animal function is not stronger than the spirit. Hazrat Rumi is saying, if the light of your spirit is shown in this world, it will blind 1,000 suns. So tariqat is a way for us to connect to that spirit that is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that nothing else in creation shares that. But if we are too busy with this dunya, eating and drinking, backbiting, and just living an animal existence, then we're not living according to the reason of our creation, and we are choking our spirit. We have been created to represent Allah. The servant then represents the sultan. And for that reason, Allah will make them sultans in the hereafter. May Allah forgive us. Our aim is only to please our Shaykh. Go down, go down, go down, go down. Be humble. We're not saying to please Allah, to please the Prophet, just to please our Shaykh, because they're all connected anyway. And to forgive us our mistakes, and to make us to become stronger, and to be more patient, for us not to be tricked by our ego, for us not to be in ghaflat. For the sake of Sahibul Saif, Al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.